in Revelation chapter 3, verse 20, the culmination of the letter to the 7 churches. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. This is 3 generations removed from the resurrection. John, the aged prophetic mystic, is writing this as he's written his gospel after 3 generations have come and gone. He is now ministering to children, to sons, and to fathers. The patriarch is looking back, and 3 generations removed from the actual event of the resurrection, and the church is already in decline, already in uncertainty, suffering major persecution. And John says the problem is they've moved away from revelation, and they're operating on secondhand information instead of the immediacy of ongoing encounter with the risen Christ by the Holy Spirit. It's exactly where we are right now. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him and he with me. The one who conquers, I will grant him to sit with me on my throne, as I also conquered and sat down with my Father on his throne. He who has an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Now listen carefully. I am going to suggest to you that conquering in this context is tied to opening the door he's knocking on. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice. And Jesus, 3 generations removed from his resurrection and ascension, is standing outside the door of the 7 churches. He's not allowed in anymore. Here's where we are in today's culture. Let's not do anything to offend visitors. Let's consign the Holy Spirit to a back room. Even if we allow it, we're not going to do it in our public gatherings because we don't want to offend anybody. Last I checked, we were all hiders, not seekers. Adam hid from God. He wasn't seeking God. The seeker is God, not you and me. Let's get the theology right. Let's get the Bible right. We are not the seekers. God sought us out. We didn't choose him, he chose us. Let's realize the real seeker is God, and sinners are hiders. And if I'm more concerned about being appealing to the culture, I've lost my revelation that the kingdom is war. I want the church to be a nice, listen, I'm all for welcoming people. That's not what I'm talking about. Jesus ate with sinners. But find me one verse where Jesus compromised on the fullness of the Spirit, on the fact that the Spirit was to have preeminence in the church. Find me one place where Jesus watered down anything. As a matter of fact, you can't have the Son or the Father without the Spirit. From heaven to earth, it's Father, Son, Spirit. But from earth to heaven, it's Spirit, Son, Father. It's called the economic Trinity. The ontological Trinity, they're co-equal, co-eternal, co-substantial. But in terms of their role, from heaven to earth, the Father, the Son, the Spirit. But from earth to heaven, you can't have the Son or the Father without the Spirit. That's where we are. We've got Jesus standing outside the door of most churches. And whether or not the Holy Spirit shows up, it's not going to make what bit of difference in the program they've laid out for the day.